What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special episode of After Credits. I'm Liam. That's Daniel.
Hi.
This is Gizmo. So, we're now starting our new sub-series, which is Liam and Daniel both go see a different movie, and then we talk about it with each other.
Why does everything have to be a sub-series or a separate episode? Can we
Because
just do a regular
cinematic universe!
Can we just do a regular fucking episode?
Alright, so last week, we both saw a movie. It was not the same movie.
No.
I saw the new Richard Linklater movie, Last Flag Flying. You saw the new Firefighters.
The new?
You saw the Punching Fire movie, only the Dwayne. And now we're going to talk about it. So the way this is going to work, Daniel's seen this. I will be interviewing him about that film, and then he'll interview me about the film I saw. You saw the new film, Only the Brave, which we...
New.
Okay,
because the shit's been out since the middle of October.
Who cares? Okay, so...
Nobody did, because it didn't make that much money in the box office.
I thought the trailers for this looked fine, but you really sold me on this movie when you read down the names of the characters.
Oh yeah. It's fucking great.
It's like... What were... I just remember the names, and like you told me, and I thought you were fucking with me, because they were so...
No, I'm not.
They were so great.
The movie's about the true story about the Granite Mountain Hotshots, this elite group of firefighters in somewhere in western United States.
Just in the fucking west.
I don't remember. It might have been Colorado. It might have been Nevada. I think it's Nevada.
No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, but it's about these good old boys led by Josh Brolin, who plays Eric Marsh. Is his name? I really want to say. I'm looking this up right now because
sounds like a superhero.
It does sound like something it is. And Josh Brolin's got this like great handlebar mustache.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh dude, it's fucking fantastic. Miles Teller is kind of this new recruit who's addicted to what is it? Drugs. Let's just say drugs, because they don't say what he's into.
It's a PG-13 movie. It's oh my.
No, they don't say crack or heroin or whatever. He's just into drugs and
bath salts.
His name is Brendan McDonough, and they call him Donut.
Oh my god.
It's fucking great. And then
who's Dwayne? Okay.
Dwayne is Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
And not Dwayne like Dwayne Johnson, Dwayne with a U.
Yes.
And he is the he's Jeff Bridges' boss?
The Nick Fury of like the firefighter cinema.
Of the firefighter cinema. He kind of is, yeah. He's the one that has connections in the city and state, and he can like influence them to get Josh Brolin's team to be certified hotshots, because in this movie the team starts out just being kind of like second fiddle. They're just the guys that clean up after the real dudes. So there's this weird bit in the movie where there's like a dick war waving contest between the elite hotshots and Josh Brolin's team. Josh Brolin's like, well, if you want to do it like this way, it'll work out. It's like, please. You guys are just the cleanup crew. Oh we're the hot shots. Meanwhile, people's homes are burning 500 feet below them.
I'm just imagining them as like the douchey fraternity from Animal House.
You're not far off.
And these are like...
You really aren't far off. They're all like... Look, with a movie like this, there's no need for spoilers. One, because it's based off a true story. Like... Not like a horror movie, true story. This shit actually happened.
Yeah.
So, there's no real need for spoilers. I'll say spoiler alert when the big one comes, but if you're not, you know, mentally handicapped and missing half of your brain, you'll be able to figure this out by me talking about it.
Yeah, it actually happened.
Half of the movie acts like Bad News Bears, where Josh Brolin has to get his team ready and certified to be hotshots. But, like, they're not fuck-ups, they just haven't gotten the chance. So, there's part of the movie that's about bureaucracy, like Josh Brolin and Jeff Bridges have to, like, warm up to seedy mayor. And Josh Brolin comes off looking like the biggest bitch in this scene. And Jeff Bridges is just there collecting a paycheck. Oh, you missed this great part. Jeff Bridges, I assume, wrote it into the movie that he would only be in the movie if he got to sing.
Wait, what?
Oh, Jeff Bridges sings in this movie. He sings Ghost Riders in the Sky.
No, I mean, Jeff Bridges is a crazy heart.
I know.
He's a great singer.
I know, but it comes out of nowhere. So I can only imagine like that was like a contract stipulation.
When you first was texting me about this, you said Jennifer Connelly was a standout to you.
I really did.
She's one of my favorite actresses.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Connelly plays Josh Brolin's wife, and they have this great back and forth. Immediately when you see them, you can tell they're the kind of couple that they argue a lot. They're both extremely hot-headed and stubborn, but they love each other beyond anything else.
They're like you and Brittany.
Yeah, because Brittany and I will yell at the top of our lungs at each other, and at the end of the day...
Except your mustache is not as good as Josh
Oh,
Brolin's.
fuck no. If I ever grow a mustache as cool as Josh Brolin, y'all motherfuckers will never see me again. I'm going to Hollywood.
Yeah.
But...
You need, like, Kenneth Branagh in Murder on the Orient Express, which is literally like 2 separate mustaches.
Well, no, the problem with Kenneth Branagh's mustaches is that they are, like, 2 mustaches born out of 1 embryo. So it's kind of like conjoined twins fighting each other for supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the only reason why I go see that movie, is just to see which side of the mustache wins. Jennifer Connelly, her big thing is that her husband's a firefighter. She owns a horse ranch, and she trains horses. There's actually this pretty fucked scene where I think there's a cop that brings her a horse, and you just look at this horse, and it's got like lacerations all over its face. It's got like burn wounds, and so there's this scene where she's like cleaning it up.
Mm-hmm.
And her big conflict, one of her big conflicts with Josh Brolin, is that he's always out fighting fires, and he never really pays attention to anything else in his life.
Do they have kids?
They don't have kids, and that's one of the obviously
Oh,
the big
yeah, I guess so.
that's a big thing for them. It's like,
Fair enough.
it's like, what about having a family? And then he'll come up and say like, we talked about this. This is the way my job is. He's the superintendent of all these hotshots, and he treats them basically like family. I learned a lot of stuff about firefighting that you never know. Like, when they're fighting wildfires, you know that whole saying, fight fire with fire?
Mm-hmm.
It makes perfect sense. The way they stop fires is basically containing them. What they do is they find where the fire is going, and before the fire gets there, they burn a specific targeted area so that when the fire receives there's no more fuel to go, and then the fire will just stop and flame out from there. And so it's kind of cool to see how that happens. They have like this tactical way of like, oh, if we're on the mountain here, we can cut a line right here, and they've got certain points where like, okay, if it passes here, we have to go here and figure out this way. That's kind of cool. There's also some directorial choices where when the movie starts getting emotional, I thought there are moments where this thing achieves brilliance.
Yeah.
Like, spoiler alert, guess what? They become hotshots! Woo! In the middle of the movie, they become hotshots! Fuck yeah!
Highway to the danger zone.
Oh no, I thought you were gonna say Highway to Hell, because that's what this movie plays. This movie's idea of a soundtrack is turning on 97.1 The Eagle and just letting it play for 30 minutes. They get hot shots, and then they go fight this big fire, and the main crux of this is that Miles Teller's character is the only one that's left alive at the end of this.
Yeah.
Because the fire doesn't go the way they expect. Miles Teller is sent out to be the lookout, and they all basically get engulfed in this giant super fire. So there's this amazing scene where Jennifer Connelly finds out that Josh Brolin, she isn't certain that he's dead, but she knows that some shit has gone down.
Yeah.
It starts out with a shot of the horse. You hear this agonizing scream. I mean, the kind of shit that you only hear in a tragedy like this. Mm-hmm. The horse takes off, and you can tell when the focus is on the barn, which is about like maybe 50, 75 feet away. So you know how loud that scream was, that it had to scare the shit out of that horse. She runs out and just buckles under her weight. It reminded me of the Furiosa shot from Fury Road. I'm not even bullshitting.
Oh yeah,
because she's on her knees and just breaks down.
Yeah.
And the way that scene is helmed, how intimate it is without being all Viola Davis snot up your nose, it really sent chills down my spine. But then there will be something like all the families of the firefighters meet up at the middle school gym, and Miles Teller walks in. they're waiting to see which of the firefighters made it out. So when Miles Teller walks in, there's this extra that does this really good thing, the same way Connolly did. It's all silent, and she just breaks down and just collapses.
Yeah.
That works. But then suddenly, this other extra will be like, "Oh my God, my husband!" And just like, you could have cut that right there.
Yeah.
And it would have just delivered that moment, man.
Yeah.
Miles Teller has gotten in good with his baby mama, and he's talking to Josh Brolin about maybe leaving the wildfire stuff behind and going into structures like normal firefighters, so he can have a better grasp of, you know, so he can be with his family more.
Yeah.
Because they're out on these journeys for maybe like a week at a time if it's that bad. And Josh Brolin has always had this shit about, like, there's this great scene where he interviews some other fucker, and he's sitting there like, "You're not gonna be one of those assholes that just uses this job as a stepping stone to leave me for structure, aren't you?" And he's just staring daggers at this fucking kid who's maybe like 20 years old. Miles Teller wants to ditch, and it's shot with them as a two-shot in front of this brick wall, this kind of like mural to firefighting or whatever. And then suddenly it cuts. And it shows the inside of the bar where they were at, and it just shows like Jennifer Connelly and Jeff Bridges, but it's all silent. And then we show it from their point of view, just looking out the window at them, and they're just still kind of talking. I didn't need that.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you needed to add.
Yeah.
It's not like Jennifer Connelly is like, "Oh, I'm realizing something's wrong." No, they're literally just there like, "Oh, what do you think they're talking about?" You just cut that, stay in the moment, because that's the moment we need. And Josh Brolin, he gets heavy. He's just that, "You ungrateful, all you're gonna be in life, if you quit this job, you're gonna go back to being a junkie." And he gets like full on, like almost J.K. Simmons level.
Yeah.
So there's a twist in this movie. The big twist is...
It's like a Shyamalan film.
Oh, yeah. Josh Brolin and Jennifer Connelly are talking about Miles Teller's decision, and they start getting into this fight. And then Jennifer Connelly just starts yelling, "Does he know you go to meetings?" And so you find out that the reason Josh Brolin feels akin to Miles Teller is because he used to be a drug addict. He and Connelly used to be drug addicts.
And that's how they
met.
Yes.
When Josh Brolin is interviewing Miles Teller, he takes like one good look at him and goes, "So when was the last time you used?" And so that scene I thought was like, well, maybe Josh Brolin just like sees so many fuck ups in this town come in and out, like wanting
it's like
an
a
easy paycheck.
badass character moment.
Yeah, it's kind of like a badass character moment, but as soon as that revelation clicks in my head, I go back to that scene and I think of how Brolin was telling you without saying it. I'm like, fuck! God damn it, Josh Brolin! Good ass actor!
Yeah, always great.
No, and he and Connelly have this huge screaming match about, her big line is, "You've traded one addiction for another." So you understand now that Josh Brolin had this addictive personality and wanted to stay focused in his work because it was the one thing that saved him from this other addiction, instead of balancing out a normal life and a normal family. They're driving down the street, he pulls over the side of the road, he gets out of the car, slams the door, and just walks off. By the way, they're in the middle of fucking nowhere, and so he just takes off down the road walking. She's like, "Where are you going?" And he goes, "For a walk."
Yes!
The next scene...
That was a really good impression.
The next scene is him walking up to Jeff Bridges' door, like a scene from fucking Hell or High Water, and he goes, "Well, I thought I'd find you here." And he hands him like a beer, and they start talking about life. By the way, you remember the funniest part we had watching the trailer where it's the CGI bear?
The bear, yeah.
It's a metaphor for the entire movie. Josh Brolin goes into this story. It's a pretty good story about how he's on a fire. He's working on a fire early in his career, and he sees this fire engulfing him. It's a bad one, and he's like scared for his life. And he sees this bear taking off. Like, the bear is on fire, running through the brush, and it runs past him and into the darkness. And he said it is the most terrifying and beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Trailer. The story itself is compelling and it's strong because he feels like he's lost in his life and he's obviously like got this burden on him, but he can't shake it off. but you see that fucking bear.
Yeah.
And it's goofy as shit.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I really want to like this more than I do. This could be a great movie. There's just some dumb shit distracting me. Although, some cool dumb shit.
Yeah.
Miles Teller has a roommate. His name is Mac. Because his name is Mac, and he's got this shitty fucking mustache. And he starts the movie, like, giving Miles Teller shit. It's basically almost Biff territory, where he's sitting there like, hey, Donut. So, you know, we've been trying to be certified hotshots for about 3 years now. And I got this fine-ass girl. He literally whips out an iPhone and shows, like, an Instagram photo of a stripper. He's like, I'm talking to this girl, Cheyenne. And Cheyenne, they'll love, a woman loves a hotshot uniform. So if you do anything to fuck this up, I will strip your hide. That kind of dumb shit.
This sounds like Top Gun. This sounds like...
It's kind of Top Gun.
Firefighter Top Gun.
It's kind of Top Gunny. I haven't even talked about the part where they open up a beer bottle with a chainsaw.
I don't even need to know about that scene. Like, that's enough.
It's kind of amazing.
That's enough.
You need to watch it because it's edited in a way to where it makes you think it's plausible. And I know there's gonna be some fucking dipshit in Wyoming cutting off his goddamn leg because he got inspired by this movie.
Do you think that, like, the stuff with, like, Brolin and Connolly, do you think that's genuinely really, really well written, or do you think it's just elevated by the performances? Or a little bit of both?
I would not be nearly as involved in this couple if it wasn't Josh Brolin and Jennifer Connelly.
Okay.
Because their chemistry is just as soon as you see them. Like, it would be the difference of him and Connelly and Mark Wahlberg and Kate Hudson.
Oh,
really? In Deepwater Horizon, sure, they're fine actors, but it's like Wahlberg's good, but Kate Hudson doesn't have a lot to do.
Yeah.
And so when you see them, it's not like they're together because they're in the same age range for this target demographic, that kind of shit. But Brolin and Connolly, you really do feel like they're married.
Okay. What are you giving this out of 6 estrellas?
Estrellas. Jesus
I'm
Christ.
white.
God damn it, you motherfucker. I thought I would not be into this movie at all.
Well,
I thought it'd be more bro-y than it was, and bro-y in a bad way. And I was surprised by how strong the characters were developed. Also, a thing to note, the casting director deserves some kind of raise or award because they managed to pick people that look dead on. It's a really long movie, and it feels long. So it's really hard to recommend, like, going to the theater to see it. I mean, now, probably the way you're going to go see it is a rental, so it's like a really solid rental. I'd go with 4.5. Somewhere in the hour mark, you're going to be like, all right, let me get a sandwich, and then come back and watch the end of this. And then the end of that ramps things up and makes it
It's obviously, it didn't do well enough to be, like, an awards contender, but, like, do you think there's anything that, like, not, like, that it will, but, like, do you think that, like, anything that you would say, like, if you were, like, selecting the Oscars that you would put up, like, production design, any of the acting?
Connolly for supporting actress, yeah. She's incredibly strong in this.
That's it. That's reviews.
Yeah!
Stay tuned for our second part where I talk about Last Flight Flying, and,
we're gonna get in our feelings in this bitch.
diamonds.
Diamonds.
I'm gonna pee before the next review.
Alright, cool.